Live from iRacing's virtual Kokomo Speedway in Kokomo, Indiana. Welcome, sim racing fans, to the final round of the iRacing World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car World Championship Qualifying Series, live on Racecraft TV. Happy that all of you are able to join us for the finale round of the qualifying series season here from virtual Kokomo. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Wayne Chiaki. And Wayne, we have finally gotten the schedule down to one final race. Cedar Lake, Lernerville, Williams Grove, Weedsport, and Fairbury all led to this moment, the final round. And there is still a fight for drivers to get above the cut line in the points. As we take a look at those point standings, Logan Rumsey, Gregory Lamy, Braden Shute, all pretty much safe, and you can go down as far as Ross Kaiser, Justin Sherman, they're pretty safe as well. But you look down at the cut line, Davin Cardwell still trying to stay above. Timothy Smith, Landon Cardoza is at risk of dropping below that cut line, with Lane Stevens, John Batista, Blake Majulis trying to get above the cut line. There is a lot for these drivers to run for tonight.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to all the action. We came into the first race of the season, saw so much action and a lot of stuff that the fans really enjoyed. And now already at our final race of this season for the World of Outlaws qualifiers. And I am really excited to see what is going to happen tonight. As you can see, Logan Rumsey, Gregory Lamy, and Braden Shute at the top three. And I think we're really going to see a lot of good action. Final race, people are willing to destroy their equipment, and they want to get those top positions tonight.
They're going to be going for those top spots as well, with Rumsey, Lamy, and Shute really having a stranglehold on the top of the points championship. It looks like they're pretty much safe, and a couple drivers down from there aren't at risk of going below that cut line, but there's a lot of drivers in this field still looking to get above the cut line in the final round. And let's see where exactly we are racing from here in the final round of the qualifying series season. Kokomo Speedway in virtual Kokomo, Indiana, opened in 1947, and it is a quarter-mile track. Very difficult to get around in these 410 sprint cars. Very difficult to maneuver these racing machines around this short track. So these drivers are going to be in for a lot of work behind the wheel tonight. Let's take a look at the race analysis as we continue to get ready for tonight's event. 2 heat races will go racing for tonight. Top 7 they're going to transfer in from each of those heats. Then we have the last chance qualifier with the top 4 advancing after 10 laps. Then a 30-lap feature race. 18 drivers will go racing in that one. Last week, we saw the first feature race of the season to go caution-free. We'll see if we end up with that same fate tonight. But Wayne, the way this race analysis works, 2 heat races with the top 7 transferring, we have seen in the past, you need to make sure that you are one of those top 7 if you want a guaranteed spot at the feature, because trying to get into the top 7 is a lot easier than the top 4 in the LCQ.
Exactly. Some of the most intense races come from the heat race, and then when you get to that last chance qualifier, those people are really wanting to get into that main feature. And now at the last race of the season, I know everybody is going to be racing the hardest for this one last race, and I can't say it enough, this is going to be a crazy night for racing. Everybody wants to qualify, but only so many are going to get into it, Josh.
And qualifying just about to wrap its way up, and then we're going to take a look at the starting grid for heat number 1 tonight. 2 heats on the docket. The final round of the qualifying series season. We thank all of you for joining us on Racecraft TV throughout the qualifying series season. It has been an absolute blast to cover the last 6 rounds and 6 weeks of this campaign for all of you here on Racecraft TV. And let's do it one final time. It is the final heat race number 1 of the season. And starting on the pole position, it is going to be Dylan Yeager leading the field to the green flag, with Kenny Miller to the outside. Blake Majulis needs a good finish here tonight the former driver of the World Championship, wants to get back to that spot, but he has a couple of points to make up before he gets above that cut line. John Batista is in the exact same boat as Majulis. Expect that second row to be very, very aggressive on the start of this one. Timothy Smith, Aiden Bierlin rounding out the top 3 rows as we go down from there. Clayton Tilley, Carlin Cure, Richie Preston, Mason Hannigan, and Vinny Sansone rounding out all the drivers who are taking the green flag here in heat race number 1 here tonight from virtual Kokomo, Indiana, as the drivers get ready to take the green flag. You can take a look at the current iRacing weather conditions. It's a pretty cold night here in virtual Kokomo, Indiana. Track temperature 61 degrees. We're not going to be worrying about track temperature too much with it being a dirt surface, but air temperature is 66 degrees. Definitely a bit chilly for those virtual drivers down there in those virtual cars. We get ready to go racing here in heat race number 1. Pace truck going to be pulling down to the safety of pit lane here in just a moment as we go 11 cars strong through turns 1 and 2. Ready to go racing here from virtual Kokomo, USA. Ready to see these drivers take the green flag. They'll work their way through turns 3 and 4. And for the final time this season, we are green flag racing in heat number 1. And it's a great start for Dylan Yeager down on the inside. He gets the best start out of anybody at the front of the field. They continue to fight back from there as Majulis already aggressive, going to go up to P2.
Lots of battles going on the track so far, and they're starting to single out there in the top 3. Yeager holding on to that top position by a great lead so far. And Josh, we didn't get to mention this, but this is one of the smaller tracks of the season, and I think that's going to make for a lot of competition and a lot of action as we get into that main feature later on. Good battles going on right now. Taking a look at Miller, 3rd place. He has a good machine so far, and he's trying to get up that line of people out there. They're too wide right now, but they're starting to get pretty easy into these turns.
Perfect. Now on the 19 of Timothy Smith is Bierlin going to try and get by Batista up here down to the inside in 3 and 4 side by side with John Batista on the outside. He makes contact with one of the drivers on the inside. More contact as they race onto the back straightaway. Fighting now for that 7th spot. Clayton Tilley going to take over the transfer. Carlin Cure trying to fight on the outside. This is a side-by-side battle for the transfer spot here in heat race number 1. Clayton Tilley going to fall out of that spot. White flag this time by as they come across the line. Tilley trying to fight for it. Cure goes all the way up to the outside. Look at Tilley trying to get it. Makes contact with Cure for the transfer. Around the start-finish line, Dylan Yeager takes it, and Clayton Tilley is going to miss out on the feature race by just 1 position. So close, could not get it done. But taking the win in heat race number 1, it is going to be Dylan Yeager. And Blake Majulis in 2nd, exactly what he needed. He qualifies for the feature race. Kenny Miller, John Batista, Aiden Bierlin, Timothy Smith, Carlin Cure. The drivers will be advancing to the feature. Clayton Tilley, Richie Preston, Mason Hannigan, and Vinny Sansone will have to fight out of tonight's consolation race. Time to take a look at the starting grid. Heat race number 2. It is Logan Rumsey on the 1st position. Evan C., last week's feature race winner, to the outside. Gregory Lamy, David Allen on the 2nd row. Shea Paulo with Clayton Davies rounding out the top 6 spots. Back from there, Braden Shute starts P7, David Howlett P8, Jason Randolph, Landon Cardoza, Corey Wenzel, the 11 drivers who are ready to take the green flag here from virtual Kokomo, and the pace truck is rolling its way off. And that was a chaotic first heat race there, Wayne. Everybody is going aggressive. I think exactly what we both thought would happen. A lot of aggression from these drivers, especially around that transfer spot. The outside line already starting to come in. We saw a lot of drivers using it, but that inside line seems to be the best place to make passes.
Yeah, and taking a look at the first heat, I think most of the action is going to be for that cutoff position, Josh. We saw the leader take a huge lead on heat 1, and coming into heat 2, if the leaders have a lot of horsepower and their machines tuned in, I think the real place to look and to keep your eye on is going to be that 7th place spot.
Ready to go green, heat race number 2. We are underway as the field goes by the start-finish line. Out in front, Logan Rumsey taking the early lead as they all continue to fight back from there. They all fight their way up. Turn 4, flipping in the background, I believe that was Shea Paolo going over. Battle for the lead, Logan Rumsey versus Evan C. They race off turn 4, C to the inside, Rumsey to the outside as they fight through turns 1 and 2. C is going to be able to take that spot, albeit just for a moment. Here comes the challenge back to the outside for Rumsey. He stays on the outside line as we already just about go halfway done with this heat race. The battle for the lead is on.
We can see that inside line taking a lot of action and work to run, but C is able to do it right now, and it looks like we don't have either leaders dominating. They're having a good battle. Coming back to 8th place, Landon Cardoza making a little bit of contact there, trying to get to that 7th place position. That is the cutoff line. Lap 6 right now, only 2 remaining, and this is going to be the place to look right now. Landon Cardoza really trying to, oh my gosh, he goes into the fence, and we have a lot of contact back there.
That was a huge dive to the inside for Landon Cardoza. He sends Jason Randolph up and into the wall. And as they come around to the start-finish line for the checkered flag, it is going to be Evan C. who walks away with a heat race victory. And at the line, Cardoza does take that final transfer spot. I don't know if that is going to be a popular move by Landon Cardoza, but Wayne, you do what you have to do to make it into the feature. Evan C. Wins the heat, but Landon Cardoza survives for the feature.
That was an incredible finish, Josh, and you said it exactly in those words. You got to do what you have to do. The final race of the year, you can't race everybody nice every now and then. You got to go for the spot to be able to get into that main feature, and that was incredible as we are ready to go down our qualifier starting grid.
Consolation race is up and ready. Clayton Tilley, Corey Wenzel on the front row, Richie Preston, David Howlett with Mason Anigan, Jason Randolph, the top 6. Back from there, only 2 other drivers taking the green flag. It'll be Vinny Sansone and Shea Paulo. Only 4 spots can be taken from this consolation race to put 4 more drivers up and into tonight's feature race. We have 8 drivers that will be going for those 4 spots. A wild second heat, to say the least there, Wayne. We saw how aggressive Landon Cardoza was for that transfer spot. I don't think that aggression is going to go away here in the consolation. If anything, I think it might be ramped up just a little bit.
I totally agree. The consolation race is the final chance you get to get into that main feature. And being the last race of this qualifier season, we're going to see a lot of aggression. This is the race I've been having my eyes on. I was talking about the heats having some action, but this race should have a lot of contact and a lot of side-by-side racing.
Ready to go, green flag racing here in the LCQ. Last chance qualifier. Last chance for these 8 drivers to make it into the feature. We've only got 4 spots, though. They send it across the start-finish line. Green flag is in the air for the consolation. They continue to fight right around that transfer. Remember, P4 is that transfer spot. Richie Preston is in the middle, trying to protect that spot. Here comes Jason Randolph to the outside. He wants to fight for it. I believe they're 4 wide for the transfer of P4. Randolph is going to take it. Now as they all go fighting, Shea Paulo going to go into P5. Battle for the lead. Clayton Tilley versus Corey Wenzel. A dive to the inside for Tilley, but here comes Wenzel back to the inside. They touch going into turn 4. Tilley's going to take the race lead.
Italy lost a lot of momentum off of turn 4, and that almost lost him that position, but he's going to hold off and keep that lead for now. Wenzel trying to catch back up to Tilly. As we go back and look at our cutoff line, Randolph is trying to defense against Paulo, and they're having a great battle so far. Too wide back there, contact made, and it looks like P5 goes into the wall there for a split second. Randolph goes into P5 now, back to P4, and we have more contact. 2 cars almost around.
That was Richie Preston, who was spinning on the back straightaway. 5 to go in the LCQ. Jason Randolph able to walk away with that current transfer spot. You're on board with the driver trying to catch up. This is Mason Hannigan trying to catch up to Jason Randolph, who currently sits in P4, the transfer spot going into the feature. Down to the inside for Hannigan. He needs to be focused, be committed to try and catch this final transfer spot. And as he races out of the corner, doesn't look like enough time is being made up to be able to catch up to the 22 machine. Back to the front. What a lead for Clayton Tilley. White flag comes out, the final lap here in the Constellation. He'll bring it across the start-finish line, and taking the win of the Constellation is Clayton Tilley, and the final transfer spot is going to go to Jason Randolph in the number 22. He is able to take that final spot here in the Constellation race. There's the full results for the Constellation. Clayton Tilley, Corey Wenzel, David Howlett, Jason Randolph, Mason Hannigan, the top 5. Unfortunately, we cut it off at Jason Randolph, so Hannigan, Paulo, Preston, and Sansone are all eliminated from the night. Feature time from virtual Kokomo. Let's take a look at that starting grid. Dylan Yeager, Evan C. on the front row. Blake Majulis, Logan Rumsey, row 2. Kenny Miller, David Allen, row 3. Back from there, it's John Batista, Gregory Lamy, Aiden Bierlin with Clayton Davies, the top 10. Timothy Smith, Brandon Shute, the top 12. And all the way back to the tail end of the field, it is Carlin Cure, Landon Cardoza, Clayton Tilley, Corey Wenzel, David Howlett, and Jason Randolph. Wayne, those were some intense racing in the first part of the night, and we still have the feature race upcoming. This one's going to be exciting.
Exactly. Totally agree, Josh. We said that last chance qualifier was going to be intense, and it was nothing but that. We saw a lot of people trying to go for those top 4 positions, 4th place position being the most important, and you saw people going around, people flipping, and now we finally get to our main feature race, what everyone's been waiting for, the final race of this season, and I'm really looking forward to what we're going to see here. Yeager, C, and Majulis, the top 3 currently. It's going to be a crazy one. Those are some big names up front.
This is the last chance for a lot of these drivers to get points before we cut off the top 20 and put them through to the World Championship. We're glad you're here with us on Racecraft TV. Let's go racing. It's feature time from Kokomo.
Dylan Yeager doing a great job so far out in front. P1 right now trying to hold on to that lead off the start, and it looks like there's already a caution.
Caution flag is called. First one of the night. We'll find out who was involved. I believe it was Jason Randolph who was involved in this one. We will find out. Grab the replay of that incident. Looked like it happened on that first lap, and we'll see exactly where that incident was, and we'll see if we can grab a replay. It looked like one driver flipped up and over onto their lid there for just a moment. Might have been David Howlett who was involved. We'll find out here. Here's the initial start. So this is them going into turn 4. It happened closer to the back of the field. So we'll find out where exactly that incident originated and where it happened. Here they are going through turn 1. They're down turn 3. There's one driver upside down. I'm not sure who, but one driver flips up and over upside down. There they were. That is, that's the 14. That's Clayton Davies, who was up and over onto his lid. We'll go back a little bit further, see exactly when this happened. Before we go back green, there's the contact, there's the flip. So we go back live. We are back under the green flag now. Sorry it took so long to find that replay, but out in front, Dylan Yeager continues to lead. No other fights on the racetrack. The leaders still commanding this race as we see a side-by-side moment. A little bit further back, Gregory Lamy trying to fight his way up through the field. Down to the inside goes David Allen. Everybody's starting to get strung out outside line, Wayne. It looks like that cushion is starting to become the dominant place to go. As you can see, the blue groove starting to develop on the inside. Starting to get dry down there with all the rubber getting laid into the dirt. Not a lot of drivers wanting to run down there.
Exactly. It's really early into the race so far. 1/3 of the race in so far. We're going to see a lot of those drivers using that outside, but if we see more contact made and another yellow come out, I think we're going to see a lot of people dive bombing that inside line on these last few laps in the race, trying to take advantage. As we are on battle right now with Evan C, battle for first place, trying to catch Yeager and trying to take that lead from him. Yeager looking very strong right now. His equipment is in tip-top shape, and this is his last race of the season, so he's going to give it 110%. Now back to Blake Majulis from New York, currently 3rd place, and he is trying to track down Evan C in 2nd place. Will he be able to do it? We're going to find out a few laps in right now.
And this is important, Wayne, for Blake Majulis. Remember, he is outside currently of the top 20 for the point standings. He needs a good night here from virtual Kokomo as we see a little bit of an issue for Aiden Bierlin as he goes right back by John Batista on the outside line. Looked like he might have tapped the wall while running up there on the cushion and ended up making a little bit of contact, ended up with a slight bit of damage. They worked their way back through turns 1 and 2 and back through turns 3 and 4 as well. Bierlin trying to catch back up in P7, trying to get further up inside the top 10. Down to the inside for Timothy Smith as he comes up. Caution flag flies. And it looks like a driver around somewhere closer to the back end of the field. We will find out exactly where, hopefully here in just a moment's time. It looked like another one of those quick incidents that leads to a quick yellow flag. Remember, caution laps do not count here in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Qualifying Series. I believe Corey Wetzel was the driver involved in this one, and we will take a look at the replay. See if we can find exactly what happened here for Corey Wetzel. Take a look at the replay here before we go back green. Working his way through turns 1 and 2 here, back to the front straightaway. Or turns 3 and 4 back to the front straightaway, right? Here's turns 1 and 2. Oh, he hit the wall in the back straightaway. Hit the wall going into 3 as well. Put him up onto his side. And that is enough to bring out the yellow flag as we'll get ready to retake the green flag, and there it is. Green flag back out halfway now through the feature as Dylan Yeager continues to lead the way and fight from the front. Nobody even close to passing him as we see a side-by-side moment. David Allen versus Kenny Miller as they go back up onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of people still using that outside groove. You saw someone dive on the inside before and try to make it happen. Either they got loose or they wanted to try that line, and it showed that it did not work out yet. Single file going on right now. It looks like they almost made contact, back bumper to bumper. Good racing so far. Lap 17, heading back to the front. Dylan Yeager still very dominant tonight, taking a big lead. Evan C 0.4 seconds behind, and we're seeing some double wide action as you're shown before on the screen, and a car flipping over. I believe that is,
it's Kenny Miller.
Not quite sure. Yeah, Kenny Miller taking a hard impact there, bringing out another yellow here tonight as we'll go back to replay to see what happened there.
Oh, contact. It looked like he hit the wall and was going very, very slow up on that outside line, and I believe he made contact with another driver. We'll get back over to the replay here in just a moment. I believe it was contact with Aiden Bierlin. Yes, it was. And so it looked like he hit the wall right there, loses a ton of speed. Aiden Bierlin, nowhere to go, can't slam on the brakes. These are dirt sprint cars. Those brakes are not made for stopping in a quick moment. So that very quickly led to contact, and luckily Looked like the driver getting the worst end of that deal was Kenny Miller, who went flipping upside down. Aiden Bierlin able to race another day. Not a ton of contact to that machine. Ready to go back to racing. Laps are winding down. 13 to go in the final race of the season here from Virtual Kokomo, and Dylan Yeager continues to lead the way. And as they work their way through turns 3 and 4, able to once again hold that lead over Evan C. Yeager going for his first feature race win here in the top split of the qualifying series this season. Let's go back. Battle for P6. John Batista's going to get turned. He makes contact with David Allen. Flips up and over onto his side, and the caution flag is going to refly. An issue for John Batista. Wayne, exactly the opposite of what Batista wanted. He is one of those drivers underneath the cut line in the points.
Exactly. He needs those points. Taking a look at this replay, makes contact with another driver in the rear, and he gets onto his side there. He really needs the points, like you said, Josh, and he's going to have to work his way back up if his damage is not that extensive, which it looks like it might be. Did not flip over 3 times, though, like other people we've seen tonight. 10 laps to go. It's going to be hard for him to make it back up, but so far we've seen some dominant people in the top 3, Josh, and I don't know if it's going to change.
Contact with David Allen there, it looked like, and hard contact as well. Very difficult, I think, right there to really avoid that contact. Running right up in that outside groove. Not a lot of moisture up there, so these cars are all over the place and just a little bit too far, drifting out wide, and ended up with that contact. Ready to go back racing. 9 laps to go here from Virtual Kokomo. It's the final race of the qualifying series season. 9 laps to settle it. Who's going to walk away with the win? We're back underway. Leading into turn 1 and 2 still is Dylan Yeager to the back straightaway. Puts another gap over the lead. Here comes Logan Rumsey to the inside. He's going to go heads up with Blake Majulis fighting for third. Majulis needs every possible position he can on the outside, looking in for the cut line, trying not to miss this upcoming season of the World Championship. He fights on the outside line, but Logan Rumsey, look at the veteran of World of Outlaws sprint cars and iRacing, fights to the inside. 2 veterans going fighting for the 3rd spot here for Virtual Kokomo, and it looks like the inside line is going to work just a little bit better for Logan Rumsey. He's able to get that spot over Blake Majulis, but it's not done yet. Majulis falls to 4th, now trying to protect any possible spots that he can to make sure that he is protecting himself and getting the maximum amount of points for the night. Continuing to fight. Now, up at the front, the challenge comes from Evan C. to the inside, battling side by side for the race lead with Dylan Yeager as they race back into turn 3. C on the inside, trying to go back to back in top split feature race wins. On the outside, Dylan Yeager trying to fight for his first one of the season. C to the inside, 2 to go, this time by at the start finish line. Evan C, formerly a racer in the late model World Championship here on iRacing, able to walk away with the top 5 in the points there. He comes to sprint cars, takes the white flag. 1 to go here from Virtual Kokomo, and coming down the back straightaway and across the start finish line, this time by taking the win. 2 in a row for Evan C. He takes it from Kokomo.
Huge congrats to Evan C. taking the last qualifier race win of this season. Dylan Yeager coming in 2nd place. Logan Rumsey 3rd place. Your top 3 tonight. What a race it was, Josh. And we're going to go over these results.
Evan C. takes the win. Dylan Yeager in 2nd. Logan Rumsey 3rd. Blake Majulis got the 4th place that he needed. Walks away with a good amount of points out of tonight's event. Blake Majulis and David Allen the top 5. Aiden Bierlin, Gregory Lamy, Timothy Smith, Carlin Cure, Clayton Tilley, your top 10. Back from there in the race results, Clayton Davies, Landon Cardoza, David Howlett, Braden Shute, Jason Randolph, John Batista, Kenny Miller, and Corey Wenzel. The top 18 and all 18 drivers that went racing in the feature race tonight. Wayne, just what a fantastic end, and we'll focus on Kokomo here for just a moment, and hopefully we'll get updated points from iRacing, and we'll be able to tell you the top 20 names and the points at the end of this season. But what a race we saw tonight from Kokomo. We saw the aggression come out, and what a late race charge from Evan C. to walk away with that race win.
Yeah, Evan C was being a little bit of a sleeper there on Dylan Yeager. I really thought Yeager had it in the bag, but Evan C showed us the last 10 laps. He was just hiding his equipment and showing that he had the dominant machine, taking the win tonight and giving a wow moment to especially me. It was a great race and a great season. It was a pleasure to be on this series, and it's not over yet for most of these drivers. They're going to get into that main league, and it's going to be a great season over there, Josh.
That World Championship is coming up soon. We'll cover the World Championship schedule in a moment, but we do have Dylan Yeager standing by and joining us now in the broadcast booth for an interview here post-race. Dylan, what a way to finish off the qualifying series season for you. It looked like a great season from up on top here in the booth. How was the season as a whole for you and the team, walking away with a second place here at Kokomo, so close to grabbing that only win of the season?
Yeah, it actually ended up really good for us. Going into pro qualifiers this year, I was kind of lost. I'm not a car driver, more of a late model guy on here, but this is the only pro series we got, so I said, we might as well go for it. Me and my teammate Evan. So yeah, the season's kind of been a bit of a roller coaster. I mean, the last 3 or 4 weeks really good. 2 top 2s in a row here with Fairbury in here. So yeah, I'm glad that hopefully Evan's in. That was our goal, kind of going in, try and get at least one of us in pro season. And I think we got both of us, so that's awesome.
And of course, going into tonight, we saw the speed, and late in that feature, teammate Evan C goes by you. Was it mistakes on the racetrack, or was that a little bit of the team strategy like you were just talking about?
Yeah, it was more or less strategy. I kind of messed up too. I was running a little too high there. I saw Evan kind of going in on the bottom, and I wasn't gonna block him. We're up here running top 2, about second away from third place. So I was kind of just riding there once he got around me, and I was just sure that we had that top 2 secured.
So now, going into the World Championship, I believe this is going to be your first time in the Sprint Car World Championship. Where's the confidence level for you as a driver that you can walk away with some good finishes? Obviously, you're going to have the mighty Alex Bergeron to fight for the championship, as he is currently on a streak of them. But where's the confidence level as you go into this upcoming World Championship, and which track do you think is going to be your best on the calendar?
I think it'll be interesting for us. I feel like I should have some pace, especially with the last couple weeks. With our finishing results getting pretty good, finishing in the top 5. But yeah, it's definitely going to be different. I haven't ran a series like pro series before with kind of competition. It's in pro series. It's a top guys on here, so it'll be tough. But I have some pretty good confidence going into it. I'm string together some good runs. Hopefully finish good in the points.
Well, thank you for joining us here post-race on Racecraft TV. Dylan, congratulations on your second place finish here from Virtual Kokomo.
Yeah, thank you. I got to thank all the guys at BLR for everything they do. I got to thank all our sponsors at BLR, Bighorn Taxidermy, Elite Graphics, Toter's Isle of French, Act 3 Defense. Got to thank y'all for the broadcast, and iRacing for putting this whole deal on.
Well, thank you very much for joining us once again. And that is your race winner, second place, Dylan Yeager, joining us here in the broadcast booth. Now we have race winner joining us in the broadcast booth. It is Evan C, who is standing by with Wayne Chiaki.
Evan C, congrats on the win. Big night for you and the team here. Run the fans and us through how it went for you getting the win tonight.
Oh yeah, I was kind of nervous tonight because I needed to do really good to get into the top 20 in points. Definitely haven't made it easy on myself this series. I think tonight was our 3rd points race counting for us, so I definitely needed to do good tonight. Finish top 3 and kind of just set up for the bottom there, me and my teammate Dylan, and I didn't know how fast it was going to be towards the end of the race. The top was going to come in or the bottom was just going to fall off, but kind of took a chance on it, and it paid off for us.
Exactly, and the pressure was on, exactly like you said, in the point series for you to get through that cut line and be able to advance onto the championship. Run us through how your season was, this entire 6 races, on what your thoughts were on the team and how your equipment did.
Oh yeah, I mean, we definitely had speed every night. We came out and, I wasn't able to do the first race because I was out of town, and I still felt pretty good. I had a good chance at making the series, and came out in the second race. Got in a wreck in the heat race, got in a wreck in the Concy. Came out the next race, was able to pick up the win, and was running second at Weed Sport and hit the wall. So I knew these last 2 races was going to be very important to get all the points that I could get, and I didn't just have to finish 6th or 7th. I had to finish first or second to get the amount of points. But I definitely knew we had the speed. Been testing a lot, and knew if I could just make sure I'd qualify up front and do good in the heat race to to stay out of trouble, that I could do it, and was able to pull it off tonight, like I said.
Exactly, and you were running top 3 for most of the night, and you really made your way into it the last 10 laps. Were you just saving your equipment there, or do you think Dylan Yeager made a mistake and you capitalized on it?
Yeah, that kind of middle that me and him was running was pretty fast, and it was about the only line that we could run there. I seen Logan, he hit the bottom next to the tires a couple laps towards the end, and it looked pretty fast. So I thought I'd try it out. If it didn't work, second place was still good for me in points. So I was going to be fine with that. But the bottom next to the tires was a little bit faster than the middle that Dylan was running. That line kind of started to die off for him, and was just able to inch up to Dylan there and get him at the line. But like I said, I'd have been fine with second or even third tonight. I think that would have been good for us. But overall, still glad we was able to pull off the win and get a 1-2.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good feeling to finish off the qualifying series with a win. Thank you for so much joining us here tonight, Evan C., and congrats on your win. Anything else you want to say to the fans?
Just like to thank everybody just helping us get to this point. Team VLR, basically just me and Dylan in this series, and we've been putting in the work testing, and just gotta thank everybody that's helped us out. CFME Sports, Magility Speed Shop, Tattoo Defense, Captain Morgan, Bighorn Taxidermy, and thank y'all guys for broadcasting every one of these series for us.
And thank you for putting on a show for us, Evan C. Hope you have a good night, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Great to hear from Evan C., of course, race winner tonight, and grand total this season, 3 feature race wins for him. But you heard him, comes in below the cut line, missed the first race of the season. We are still waiting on fully updated points before we give you the final points. We are waiting on, I believe, one more of the splits to finish up. And in the meantime, we'll take a look at the schedule for the upcoming World Championship. And of course, it stretches from 6 rounds to a grand total of 10. As we take a look at the schedule for the World Championship, we begin Monday, November 15th in Volusia, then Kokomo, Bristol for the first time on the World Championship calendar. That one is going to be fun with Bristol covered in dirt. Eldora, Williams Grove, Knoxville, Cedar Lake, Lernerville, Weed Sport, and the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So round out the calendar, a lot of tracks that were not on this qualifying series and a lot of tracks that were also on this qualifying series. So we'll see how all of those races go. And as always, you can catch the World Championship action on all of iRacing's channels, social medias, and the iRacing eSports network. You can catch all of the coverage powered by RaceSpot TV for all 10 rounds of the 2021-2022 installment of the World Championship. Well, we'll give it a little bit more time to wait for those final points. And Wayne, this was a very exciting qualifying series season. And a lot came down to this final race. We really did not know what was going to happen with that cut line until we came into this finale race here at Virtual Kokomo. We really did not know what was going to happen until we saw it unfold on the racetrack.
Exactly, and I didn't believe how close the points were. Some of these people that got wins in the series and were running top 5, top 3 races, I guess didn't have the best of luck during the season, and they're pretty close to that cutoff line more than I realized. So these points are really close, and as we wrap up this season and the qualifier series to get into that championship series, it's really important to get these points correct and make sure that the drivers get in that earned it. It was a great series, a great 6 races, and they were all action-packed, Josh. I had such a blast. These venues were really good that we came to this year. We had some short tracks, we had some medium-sized tracks, but the main series is going to get the biggest ones. Bristol, I saw in there some of the big name tracks that the fans are going to get. So you're not going to want to miss that action that is coming up in a few months here, and it is going to be really action packed. I had a blast. Shout out to Racecraft TV, and thank you, Josh, for bringing me here in the booth. It was a great season.
Definitely was, and the first qualifying series that we have broadcasted in full here on Racecraft TV, and it has been an outpour of support from the dirt oval and the sprint car community here on the iRacing service, and we thank everybody who has tuned into all 6 rounds of this championship. It has been one exciting installment of the qualifying series, and one of the most exciting qualifying series that we have seen for a world championship in any year, but especially this year here in 2021. Remember, you can catch all the action for the World Championship beginning on November 15th on the iRacing Esports Network, all of iRacing's YouTube, Twitch, and social media pages. So make sure to stay tuned to all of their social medias to make sure that you do not miss a single broadcast of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car World Championship Series. Points still not updated. Looks like one of the splits taking a little bit longer than expected, but we can say that Logan Rumsey, Gregory Lamy, Braden Shute, Ross Kaiser, Justin Sherman, Chris Sabeske, Dylan Yeager, Clayton Davies, Carlin Cure, believe Aiden Bierlin is safe. Just waiting to find out if the driver that came in 28th and that won the feature race tonight, Evan C., is safe in the top 20. And we'll give it a couple more minutes here, wait for those results to fully come in. We do not want to leave everybody on a cliffhanger here of who made it into the World Championship, but it does not look like we are going to get updated points just yet. We'll, once again, give it about 1 or 2 more minutes here, and hopefully we can get the full season standings and get that top 20 results on who qualified into the World Championship. Such an exciting World Championship that is coming up. And if it's anything like the qualifying series, we're going to see aggression and we're going to see a lot of great racing across all 10 rounds. Unfortunately, we won't be able to give you final points here tonight, but make sure that you tune in to the first round of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car World Championship Series on the iRacing Esports Network on November 15th to find out if your favorite driver made it into the top 20 out of the qualifying series. For Josh Edmondson at Racecraft TV and for my colleague in the booth, Wayne Chiaki, my name is Joshua Lee. Thank you so much for tuning into live coverage of the iRacing World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car World Championship Qualifying Series. We hope you'll join us for more broadcasts here on Racecraft TV, and good luck to the competitors in the 2021-2022 NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car World Championship season.